Because peace is a status where the spirit flowers naturally. You will have the right inspirations, you will have the right aspirations, and that inner strength, to do what should be done. So peace is important. It is the foundation of spiritual life. Yes? Yes, I think she is waiting for too long. Please.
I wanted you to comment on speaking different languages,
Speaking in tongues, like the early Christians talked about. When the Spirit comes, you can talk in many languages at once.
It is a true phenomenon. Some people hear voices, some people find something speak through them in various languages. But these are not. These are more occult phenomena than spiritual. Occult. Its consciousness need not change for that. You are open to spirits or beings of a higher order than yourself, a subtler order. Now whether those beings are of the benevolent type or the malevolent type, we do not know. We hear voices or we allow others to speak through us. It can land us into great predicament at the end, or it can help us. And it all depends upon our luck. So it is not wise for man means human being, to surrender oneself to another entity without being sure of the identity of that being. There are many pretenders. Many of the spirits which we think are our ancestors or our friends who have passed on are not they at all. There are many who masquerade. If we are in a seance, those mischievous spirits come, they get into my subconscious, know what I have in my mind, what I would like to hear, and they repeat it as if my friend or relative who has passed on. So this is an extremely dangerous, unreliable realm of experience, which has nothing to do with spirituality. We have to deal with the spirit and not with the spirits. Yes.
Did you say a mandala is a linear form?
Yes, yes. Mandala represents, in the form of a diagram, a configuration of forces commanded by the particular deity. Creative, destructive, preservative. So these are not arbitrarily drawn designs. They are designs which reveal themselves to the awakened eye of the seer, and they have a power. When that particular creative movement starts, the subtler forces take that shape in the subtle world. And when you create an identical situation, there is an evocation to that power. That is why they have that Sri Chakra or the Tibetan mandalas. After you draw the picture, there is another step, and that is to infuse life into that. And that you have to do with yourself. You have to pray and transmit. You have to learn that art of transmitting the spark of life into that, and that becomes living. It is as if the deity is present there. One feels that. The whole hall, the room gets charged. And the little water that is offered in a chalice to that deity as part of the worship becomes so much charged that if you bring a person who is possessed, bring a person with epilepsy, if that water is sprinkled, that spirit departs. The person is healed. I have seen these things, and these are common in India. Yes?
Have you had experience with the cyclotronic generators that the Russians have been experimenting with?
No. What do they do?
Well, it's pretty much like what you're speaking of. They are mere forms which have been developed and worked upon where the human, well, first off, it's explained in the book Psychic Discoveries Behind the Iron Curtain, And there are various shapes. So now, of course, the book was maybe 10 years old. I'm wondering what's going on since. But there are various shapes which a person can merely concentrate on in a nebulous way, and they produce a definite result. Some of them malevolent, some of them benevolent.
Possible, because they have taken number of yogis from India, and they are experimenting. But while taking them, they have given them fabulous money. But under condition is they should not use the word God. They should not use the word yoga in their country. And our people have gone and are subjecting themselves to these experiments. They go into concentration, they go into trance, and some electrodes and all that is done, and they see how far the heartbeats and all these things can be controlled. And the story that came when there was a world chess championship, that the fellow who was ranged against the Russian champion, he felt terribly disturbed every now and then. Then he said, they are doing something there, some psychic thing, and I refuse to play. I believe it. Now they are trying, in Russia, that if it is true that there is one mind, and like radio station, by tuning into different minds, we can know what is going on there. They are trying to develop techniques of knowing what is going on in Carter's mind here, sitting in Russia, Moscow. And I believe they will succeed one day. They are such a persistent people. Their communist godless doctrine doesn't prevent them from experimenting in all these things.
This kind of thing is described in that same book.
Yes, I know. Iron discoveries behind the Iron Curtain. And that is now out of date. They have gone far ahead.
Do you think that this kind of activity, which is spying in a way, is the dark side of their brotherhood?
I think it is a part of the development of knowledge. There is a good side, there is a wrong side. But Carter, if he can always put a wall around himself. If he knows the technique, he can always erect a wall and say nobody should know what you can't do a thing. If you exercise your willpower, nobody can get into you. But most of us are not aware that we have a will.
They're also experimenting on planting thoughts in people's heads.
Yes, that is an old technique. That is an old technique to send thoughts, powerful thoughts, and direct it to somebody, and that person thinks it is his own thoughts and starts working. These are accepted things. So we are actually on the brink of a great revolution, mental revolution. Yes.
Do you feel that the group consciousness is in the process of being raised?
Yes.
To the coming together of the
Yes.
East and the West?
Yes. East and the West are coming together. Science and spirituality are coming together, and there is going to be a big explosion of concepts. And group consciousness will develop in such a rapid way that the present national frontiers will become things of the past. Geographical barriers will not be there. Technology has done its best through the media of travels, television and things, to knit the whole world together. It is now a question of a human will to get over these egoistic divisions. But things will happen in such a way that they will just peter out. Just as today, for instance, all of us, we are not confining our capacity to do good to our own individual families, but to everyone around. We don't say he doesn't belong to my family, so he has no right to have my goodwill. But no, the family system is breaking up precisely as a step towards world family. Families have broken up and individuals have become more individualistic as a step for the universalization of the individual. An individual caught up in a close-knit family situation cannot universalize himself easily as a single individual who can break out. So the breakup of the family system is a step in the direction of a universal family. Yes?
Different.
One
In
minute.
regard to thoughts and meditation, I think we can take dubious comfort from what Jesus said. Blessed are the empty, for they shall be filled. But what I really was wondering about was where you spoke about the surface mind. Is it possible when these thoughts come in unwanted that some department of the mind can look after them while the other part proceeds
Yes.
with the meditation?
Yes, yes.
We do that all the time in ordinary daily life.
But we have to organize that capacity. Not all do it. I think you may be doing it. But most people live only in the surface mind. You know, that bifurcation is not real in everybody. The more a person is developed, the more that capacity for bifurcation grows. Yes, sir?
In different spiritual, religious traditions, I know people get together and practice things like music and dancing and chanting as groups. Can you comment on that, on the value?
Collective practices like meditation, they have a great utility in this, that they generate a certain special atmosphere, and the development of each person gets related to the development of others. So it is the weaker ones who benefit most by collective exercises. The stronger ones, they feel their consciousness a bit diluted, because there is a constant drawing from those who are not developed. But it is a sacrifice they willingly do. And collective meditations, collective prayers generate a presence and a power which is more than all the people put together. So also singing, music, it has up to a certain point. After that, the spiritual side goes behind, and there is a vital excitement to the nerves, and it becomes an end in itself. At that stage, it becomes a barrier for inner development. It is helpful to create an atmosphere. But there are, sessions where people go on singing for hours together, dancing for hours together. Like the Indonesian, I just don't have that name, Pak Subud, Latihan. There is a hall, they shut themselves in that, and there is a drum or something like that, and they go on dancing and dancing. Now that exudes a certain life energy, vital energy, and they think it is the inspiration of God. They are nowhere near the God. But that vital excitement, like this music, there are certain musics in this rock music, or it excites you. It doesn't give you peace, it doesn't give you tranquility, but it excites. You want to go around, do things. It is called vital enthusiasm, vital activity, vital energy. It can be put for good use, it can be put for bad use. So these mass singings and mass dances and all that, they have danger points.
Usually people can tell when they've reached that point.
Yes,
Okay?
yes. Once things get beyond your control, it means you have crossed the danger point. What is going on in Rajneesh's place is this, in Pune, in India. There is a huge dance, there is a drums, and that man shouts, who do this and all that, people throw away their clothes, and people are allowed to expected to do everything, they have blindfolded, and they can dance for 1 hour, 2 hours, 1.5 hours. And then suddenly the thing stops and everybody is asked to fall down. It means you are going out of your own control. That is a regressive movement. Evolutionarily we have to gain more consciousness and more control over ourselves. But by these ways you surrender your initiative to something outside you, and that need not be above you.
What about the dervishes?
And with that also it comes to that. It comes to that, there may be individual exceptions, but by and large they are things that deviate at some point, and we are lost in that vital glow. We feel nice about it, but there is a reaction after some time. Yes?
Is the reason why there has been so much pain, suffering and war and struggle in the history of mankind, is the reason because the spirit didn't have the capacity to create immediately a perfect existence. It did what it could do in order to have existence, so it was necessary because of its incapacity for us to experience negativity in order to experience positivity. In other words, to experience anger in order to experience love.
It's a way of looking at things. The negative things have to be, there is a way of saying the negative things have to be exhausted. I would say the negative things have to be sublimated. They need not be given their full career. But they can be sublimated. Every negative quality is a deformation of a positive quality. Yes?
Consider Sri Aurobindo your guide or your guru? This question is still bothering me.
No, they are my gurus. They are my gurus.
So how can you advocate the age of non-gurus?
Because I know it is very rare to find gurus like that. I know it.
Because they're rare doesn't mean one shouldn't.
The age, you see, that age has closed. If today I were to start, I wouldn't go in search of a guru. People of a particular generation were lucky, but they have been prepared for something more.
Will you go into an ashram today?
Pardon?
Will you go to an ashram today?
No. No, I won't. Same thing, an ashram also is an institution that has outlived its utility. Ashram always indicates a certain isolation from the society, from the developing world movement. And we live in a very comfortable, protected environment, give lectures, write books, and help people from our vantage positions. Draw us out in the situation of life and see how we react, how we fail to react. They had their use, but they have no more relevant.
Would you now, if you were just starting, wouldn't it be valuable to go to an ashram for a short period of time and get a stable basis and then go out, or not at all?
Provided I am very vigilant, I don't allow myself to be indoctrinated, I don't allow myself to be, mentally influenced, and I have that self-confidence of drawing the best from everything. I can certainly do that.
I understood from Sri Aurobindo that you didn't have to, while he was alive, join an ashram.
No. It was done for a particular purpose, to work out the model of a spiritual society. It was not done to help people to achieve liberation or nirvana, but to experiment and work out a model of a spiritual society.
It did help.
Yes, yeah, it does help. It does, yeah. For that purpose. So he thought for 3 days whether the word ashram would be appropriate at all. He concentrated, meditated, because he said ashram has acquired so many different connotations. But then he couldn't find in human language any other word. Then he said, let us go back to the old ancient conception of the house of a teacher. And he gave the name in that sense.
Theosophy says that when a pupil reaches a certain stage, they require the presence of a self-realized person to sort of lift them to their own vibrations to live within his or her and experience that. Well, some theosophies say that the presence of a self-realized
Actually,
person is essential.
I understand, but what happens is, when you are ready and you need a particular kind of help, that help reaches you. Either you happen to come in the presence of such a person, or a book or something which gives you the necessary impetus, it takes place. So the spiritual tradition is, when the disciple is ready, the teacher comes to him. You know, we don't have to go in search of teachers.
But the teacher may be in different forms.
Yes, teacher need not be in a human form. It can be in the form of a word, an experience, a shock of life, or something. You read a book, all these. But I have always been intrigued why this obsession with the gurus and what a guru should be, how to recognize a guru. Why not think what a disciple should be? What are the qualifications of a disciple? Nobody thinks of it. And I would like to end with one small incident, story, and that is, so there was a young man, he was always watching the goings on in a small hermitage across the river. There was a holy man, a guru, and number of people were coming, going, and he was wondering what is going on there. Then he made inquiries, then he knew that he is a spiritual guru, he helps people to realize God. Then he said, it's a good idea, instead of working here and earning my livelihood, if I can go there and become his disciple and realize God, there will be no problems. So he went to him and he said, sir, I want to be your disciple. He had a look at him and he said, very good. Then will you do what I tell you to do? He said, certainly, sir. Do you know what you will do? He said, what is it? He said, at 4 o'clock in the morning you have to get up, go to the river, take your bath in that cold water. And he was watching the reactions of the young man's face. And then he said, you go and cut wood for our cooking purposes. Bring that log of wood in the morning. There will be others like you who will be doing it. And then what do? He said, then I will give a class, you listen to me, commit to memory what I say. I see. Then he said, and then thereafter, we will give you some food, and then you go and work in the fields. Then he said, sir, then what do you do? He asked me. So the teacher said, well, I eat and I sleep. Then he said, sir, I prefer to be a guru.
नानक कहत मुक्ति पथ यही, नानक कहत मुक्ति पथ यही, गुरुमुख होय तुम पाओ साधु, गुरुमुख होय तुम पाओ साधु, साधो गोविंद के गुण गावो। Now I shall sing a song by Mirabai. She was a queen, but she renounced everything and she was mad with the love of Krishna. And she sings, oh my friend, his arrow has gone right into my heart. His sweet face is now imprinted on my mind. And it has gone right into my system. So I wait and wait and wait for him to come. How can I keep my life? How can I hold on to life if he is not there? My life is gone. Jari means burnt. My life is burnt. This is a very Indian expression. Yes. So now Meera Meera is sold to Giridhar, that is Krishna. I am his slave. The thing is, I can't live without him, and people call me mad. Yes. Sakiri mere nain baan pari, Sakiri mere nain baan pari, mere nain baan pari, mere nain baan pari, चित चरी मेरे माधुरी मूरत उर बिच आन करी, चित चरी मेरे माधुरी मूरत उर बिच आन करी, कब की छारी पंथ निहारूं, कब की छारी पंथ निहारूं, अपने भवन खड़ी, अपने भवन खड़ी, नैन बान पड़ी मेरे, नैन बान पड़ी, सखिरी मेरे नैन बान पड़ी, कैसे प्राण पिया बिन राखूं, जीवन मोरी जरी, कैसे प्राण पिया बिन राखूं, जीवन मोरी जरी, मीरा गिरिधर हाथ बिकानी, मीरा गिरिधर हाथ बिकानी, मीरा गिरिधर हाथ बिकानी, लोग कहे बिगड़ी, लोग कहे बिगड़ी, नैन बान पड़ी मेरे, नैन बान पड़ी, सखिरी मेरे नैन बान पड़ी। Now I come to the modern age after 2 samples of this, because we should finish before time. But in the modern age I have enough samples, not quite the modern age. What the modern age means in India is still not quite the 20th century, you see. So, there's Rabindranath Tagore. You must have heard of Rabindranath Tagore. He wrote a large body of poetry and won the Nobel Prize for Literature, the only Indian ever to have done so. Now, he has written a lot of mystical poetry too, and also of human seeking and aspiration for the divine. Now I shall sing one of them to you. It says, with the light of my eyes, I looked at the outside world. But when I looked within, eyes did not see light. The poet is referring to a period in every human being's life when all the standards by which he guided himself, the light which he followed, seemed absent. Everything seemed dark. and all the old values disappeared. So the poet says, when Dhara, that is earth, when earth did not support me, when earth's standards failed, I turned to thee, then my heart was filled, and now I look at thee with the light given by thee. Now there is a double meaning here. With the light given by thee, I look at the world. But also I look at thee in the world. So by his light, he looks at him. And the second stanza says, I was busy in my little playhouse with my dogs. This again refers to the ordinary aims of life, ordinary preoccupations and occupations. But then a storm came and swept away everything. My dolls were broken. So be it. Let the game cease, and let my life mingle with thine. The veena, the harp with the strings, the stringed veena is broken, but the veena of my heart has begun to sing. So this depicts man's turning away from the ordinary objects and turning to the divine, and then the divine fills him. Bengali music is very different from the other two songs that I did, which were in Hindi. That music is different. It's very soft and flowing. So it is very soft and flowing, except when I describe the storm, when the melody rises. I'll give you an idea of the rhythm. Actually, I need the Indian drums, soft Indian drums for that. I'll give you an idea of the rhythm with that and with my gestures so that you can follow the song. Chokher aloy dekhechilen, chokher bahire, chokher aloy দেখেছিলেন চোখের বাহিরে অন্তরে আজ দেখব যখন আলোক নাহিরে চোখের আলোয় দেখেছিলেন চোখের বাহিরে ধরায় যখন ছিলেন চোখের বাহিরে তোমায় নিয়ে খেলেছিলেন খেলার ঘরেতে তোমায় নিয়ে খেলেছিলেন খেলার ঘরেতে খেলার পুতুল ভেঙে গেছে প্রলয় ঝড়েতে খেলার পুতুল ভেঙে গেছে প্রলয় ঝড়েতে তবে সেই কেবল খেলা হোক না এখন প্রাণের মেলা তবে সেই কেবল খেলা হোক না এখন প্রাণের মেলা তারের বিনা ভাঙলো হৃদয় বিনায় গাহিরে তারের বিনা ভাঙলো হৃদয় বিনায় গাহিরে চোখের আলোয় দেখেছিলেন চোখের বাহিরে অন্তরে আজ দেখব যখন আলোক নাহিরে চোখের আলোয় দেখেছিলেন চোখের বাহিরে Are you tired? The music also was by Rabindranath Tagore. For all the poems and songs that Rabindranath Tagore wrote, he wrote the music too. Now another song by Tagore, and because of the rain, it reminds me, this is the rain song. Now in India, the Indo-Gangetic plain, is hot because the Himalayas, they block the winds and the rains. So the Indo-Gangetic plain, during the summer, it is so hot, and there is the loo, the hot wind blowing. So people wait for rain, and when rain comes, they sing and dance, and so there are many, many songs composed in honor of the rain. So this says in Bengali, this is also Bengali, after many ages from beyond, the rain has come, the rainy season has come. Now Tagore, being a mystical poet, doesn't only give description of nature, but he also speaks of the heavenly rain falling on the parched heart of man, on the barren human life, all the streams of the divine, the rain. That's why he says, from many ages, from the beyond, rain has come. And it has come into my mind and my heart too. He is such a poet, that's the rain god. He's such a poet. Sometimes he comes, choro choro, he plays many rhythms. But then he falls, choro, 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 choro. So the word choro, choro, borishane, he has come. And all the flowers, they droop with the weight of the water, and their fragrance is wafted in the wind, and it's all around me. See the spring flowers, all of them, in the summer they had become past, but again they have come, and all the herbs and the plants, they are giving out their fragrance. So, I'm sorry. La 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 la. So this is a joyous song. Another devotional song. I shall not give up. I will not give up the name of the Lord. I need nothing else but the name of the Lord. No learning, no special study, no austerities, but with the help of just one name, I shall cross the sea of this world. Ram Naam, the name of Rama. Nahi chodu re Baba Ram Naam, Ram Naam. Nahi chodu re Baba Ram Naam, Ram Naam. Nahi chodu re Baba Ram Naam. Mero par नहीं है काम, मेरो पर नहीं है काम, नहीं है काम, नहीं है काम, नहीं छोड़ू रे बाबा राम नाम, राम नाम, नहीं छोड़ू रे बाबा राम नाम। प्रहलाद पढ़ाए पद नशाल, संग सखा बहुलिए